What's on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. Sorry, I used the wrong microphone in the other video, but this one required the appropriate microphone. AOC is going to mess around and find herself in prison. She, quite frankly, is the dumbest person in Congress, openly telling illegals how to avoid ICE. This is a huge problem for her. Then she, with confidence, went to X to post about how much smarter she is than Tom Homan and Trump and everybody else. Well, there's a little bit of an issue. There's a little bit of an issue with her position because she clearly does not understand the Constitution the way that she thinks she does. Leave everyone like is on this video as another day in jail for AOC. So she takes this video, right? And where she gets owned by Tom Homan and claims it as a victory. Now, if you don't know, let me go back here. Let me go back. AOC held a webinar on how to avoid ICE. Border czar Tom Homan has doubled down on his scrutiny of Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez bartender attempts to help illegal immigrants evade authorities. Now, if you go back to just a few days ago, see here, border czar Tom Homan slams AOC over webinar to help illegal immigrants avoid arrest. I thought I educated her on this. You see this. Homan took issue with a webinar hosted by Ocasio-Cortez earlier this week, explaining the tactics immigration and customs and ICE authorities have been using in New York to arrest illegal immigrants, an apparent attempt to help migrants avoid deportation. Quote, I sent an email today to the Deputy Attorney General. At what level is this an impediment? Is that an impediment? Homan said of the webinar in the interview with Fox News host Laura Ingraham. Is that impeding our law enforcement efforts? If so, what are we going to do about it? Homan said he asked the Justice Department. Maybe AOC is going to be in trouble now, he continued, arguing that an impediment is an impediment, in my opinion. I'm not a prosecutor. We need some further guidance on that. Now, in this webinar, she basically put out, any idiot who is not a corrupt judge, which unfortunately there are many out there, knows exactly what this webinar that she put out was meant to do. It was not meant to just educate American citizens. Let me be very clear. This video was put out to educate illegals, people that had to illegally cross the border and are in this country illegally. Those people also have not the protection of the Fourth Amendment that AOC thinks is protecting her. AOC did not participate in the Facebook webinar, during which an immigrants' rights activist informed viewers recent ICE raids in the Empire State have taken place early in the morning and in public places and have involved unmarked ICE vehicles stopping cars as people drive to and from work. The speaker, Jenia Blazer, I wonder why she doesn't live in a foreign country, a lawyer with Immigrant Defense Project, also noted that ICE arrests have taken place during required check-ins with federal immigration authorities. So they're telling people, hey, don't go to those. Don't be out at this time of day. Don't be, they're giving them a literal checklist on how to avoid arrest. Also noted that check-ins during probation or parole appointments and when migrants are being transferred from police custody. Another speaker with the Immigrant Defense Project, identified as Laura, later told viewers that her group has very, very rarely seen cases in New York where ICE agents have obtained judicial warrants and suggested that migrants simply refuse to cooperate with federal authorities unless they produce a warrant. Ocasio-Cortez mocked Homan on X for insinuating that she may have run afoul of the law. Maybe she's going to be in trouble now, the New York Congresswoman wrote. Maybe he can learn to read. The Constitution would be a great place to start. Homan fired back, telling Fox News, let's pray that she's not educating the next murderer or young college nursing student how to evade arrest from ICE. How many more young women have to have terrible things happen to them thanks to these illegal immigrants? The former acting director of ICE added that he is well aware of the Constitution, but is also that the Department of Justice gives legal interpretations on the issues like this to ensure that ICE acts in accordance to the law. It is not okay to be in the United States illegally. It is a violation of federal law to enter this country illegally, and it's not okay to assist those in the U.S. illegally in furtherance of their illegal entry and unlawful presence, Homan continued. Now, what's interesting about this, again, the very act of entering America, improperly is a crime. So by default, everybody who has, crossed the border in this manner is a criminal. Now, are they all these terrible gang members and this, that, and the other thing? No. And, I was fine with him starting with all the criminals first and then maybe give some of these other people some time to try and get amnesty. Look, if you're here, you're working, you're paying taxes, maybe we give them amnesty. I'm open to it. If you're not committing any more additional crimes, blah, 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 blah. It's just very, the number one goal should be to shut down the border, stop the flow, right? The number two should be to get all the criminals out, which there are many. Then number three would be to reduce kind of the overall numbers and drains on the system. Like if you're an illegal here and you're not working and you're not paying taxes, or you're not working, you're not adding to society, you got to go. So if you're here and you have, those $6,000 debit cards and you have all this other nonsense, you got to go. I think the American people have spoken very loudly and very clearly. They are not interested in paying for this stuff anymore. Of course, Ocasio-Cortez is tripling down, telling Fox News Digital that she's glad Mr. Homan is checking with the Department of Justice to familiarize himself with the limits of the agency's authority in entering the homes of everyday Americans without warrants. And by the way, I think ICE should, follow the law. I don't think that they should be breaking the law to enforce the law either. Since Mr. Homan seems to be vaguely familiar with U.S. immigration law, we also remind him that according to congressional statute, becoming undocumented, meaning illegal, in the United States is a civil offense and not a criminal one, she added. Don't care. If you entered here illegally, you can leave. That's just the truth. Now, she is continuing to double and triple down, and I think she's getting herself into a bit of trouble here. Even her own leftoid dork followers are not really seeing her as quite the freedom fighter she thinks she is. So she takes this clip from Tom Homan last night. Aaron Rupar, leftoid dork liar, frames this clip as Homan stumbling and stammering and whatever. Let's actually look at the clip.
Well, first of all, I think she's, I won't go after her on
Tom, please do. Say what's on your mind. It's a holiday.
Look, she's the dumbest congresswoman ever elected to Congress, and she proves that every day.
So the fact that he's hearing that guy in his ear, and they're talking over each other, that's what's happening there. He's not stammering. And he tried to show some class there by not going after her personally until he was goaded by Fox News, of course.
And look, bottom line is, I can't believe any member of Congress, Republican, Democrat, Independent, would want to educate criminal illegal aliens who are in the country illegally, been convicted of a violent crime, and have been ordered removed by an immigration judge after due process at great taxpayer expense.
Right.
You got a congressman or congresswoman that does not want ICE to do the job that Congress has mandated them to do and funds them to do. Well, first of all, I think she's...
Now, okay, maybe he wasn't so eloquently spoken there, but the implication that he's just flustered because AOC's getting over on him. Let's go to the comments. So AOC frames us saying, this is how you fight these cowards. The moment you stand up to them, they crumble. Was him calling you the dumbest congresswoman in D.C., him crumbling? I don't really see it as a crumble. But again, Homan has nothing. The Fourth Amendment is clear. and I'm well within my duties to educate people of their rights. He can threaten me with jail and call names all he wants. He's got nothing else. Well, see, the Fourth Amendment applies to United States citizens. It does not apply to criminal illegal aliens. Let's take a look at some of the replies. Here's Tim Young. Rights are for citizens, not illegal aliens. You're breaking the law. LibraCat writes, except you're not educating criminal illegals on their rights, you clown. You were caught on video straight up telling them how to evade and circumvent federal law and how to hide from ICE. Your duty is to Americans, not criminals who broke our laws and entered illegally. Now, I think AOC will never get voted out because, I mean, until her looks go. Plus, in a lot of ways, New York is just cooked. I hope that, I pray that there's some hope for New York. But Brooklyn, her district, not great. Viva Fry, a lawyer, writes, you didn't actually watch the video, did you? You really are stupid. Stacey is right, saying, no, LOL, illegal aliens possess no constitutional rights. What you're doing is, in fact, illegal. Don't worry about it, dip-ish. Your investigation has already begun. I can't wait till they come knocking on your door. This is a case where AOC is going to put herself in prison or censure or impeachment for Twitter clout. That's what she's doing. She's doing it so, Borders Are doubles down on asking if DOJ should prosecute AOC for forming immigrants, for informing them of their rights. That's not what she did. First of all, you're an illegal immigrant. You are not protected by our Constitution. But second of all, that's not what she did. If she just had put out a webinar and informed them of their rights, I'd have to back off and say, sure, this is cringe, but that's right. That's not what they were doing. They were telling them how to avoid ICE. They were telling them how to evade prosecution. They were telling them how to, continue to stay in this country illegally. And of course, in many states where there's no border ID, vote for her. If you look at really, there's almost no state. Was that a capybara going crazy on somebody? Looks like it. Now, the thing is, these Democrats need illegals to vote. That's why they piped them into this country and put them where? They didn't put them in California, although they put some there. They put them in the Midwest. They're trying to erode the Rust Belt. They're trying to turn the Rust Belt blue. And so they piped them into Wisconsin. They piped them into Ohio. They piped them into, Springfield, all this kind of stuff. What the Democrats do is not really that difficult to follow. I think she's effing around and she's about to find out because I think, I'm not a lawyer, but there are plenty of lawyers in the replies saying, it looks like you may have made an oopsie, AOC. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.